So how do you solve an absolute value inequality? Well, the first thing that you'll want to do is either on your paper or in your head, envision a number line. When you are solving problems with absolute values, you need to think about distances from zero, and a great tool to visualize this is a number line. So let's translate what this equation means. We have some value, which is expressed as the absolute value of x minus 4, some number, is greater than, or its distance from zero is greater than, which we can interpret as further, if it's going to be further away from zero by 18 units. So you have to think what locations on the number line are going to represent the spots at which everything beyond those points are more than 18 units away. And that location would be, of course, 18, because this distance, value of 18, is indeed 18 steps away from zero, but so is negative 18, because absolute values are concerned with distance, and distance won't be negative. So the first thing we're going to do here is imagine what that would look like on the number line. We can represent that with this region here. All of these numbers will be further away from zero by more than 18 units. And of course, over here as well, all of these numbers will be further away from zero by more than 18 units. So how can we get to these solutions and represent them in terms of x? Let's start by re-expressing our problem. Absolute value of x minus 4 is greater than 18. Let's consider the positive situation first. Let's consider positive 18. Well, how would we represent all of the numbers shaded in yellow here? Those numbers are going to be greater than 18. So I know that something is going to be greater than 18. And we know that these values are represented in terms of x as something minus 4. So we'll just write that here. Something minus 4. And at this point, you just do inverse operations to get x by itself. X is greater than 22. So this is one of our solutions, and that represents the right-hand side of the number line. But what about the left-hand side? How do we express these numbers? Well, these numbers in relation to this benchmark, negative 18, are less than. These numbers are less than negative 18, with another inequality where we take the original expression, because x minus 4 is representing the value, right? The absolute value of something, and we want it to be less than negative 18. So there's the trick for these problems, is we're going to flip the inequality sign, and we're also going to change the polarity to be negative. But at that point, it's the same sequence of solutions. X is less than negative 14. And because x can be either this, x is greater than 22, or it could be x is less than negative 14, we'll include the word or there, and this represents our solutions.